Accident in the wood yard. I smashed my wheelbarrow. This is the world's greatest wheelbarrow made by Leonard. I smashed it. I forgot it was behind my trailer after I loaded it up, and I backed the trailer up right over top of it. Oops. But just imagine if this weren't the world's greatest wheelbarrow, what condition it would be in. It would look like a pop can that got stepped on. Ugh. I got some straightening to do on that lower leg. It's a little crooked. But for today duty calls, I have a lot of logs to split with the Eastonmade axis. This was all just a brilliant idea that came into my head. I am running all these oak logs through the 405. Well, you know, there's an occasional crooked log or a big butt end that won't fit through the processor, and I cut them off right here. I decided to move the axis right by the wood pile, which is a great idea because we are stacking the wood right there. It's a nice workflow. I was thinking, why didn't I do this earlier? Well, that's because in the heat of summer, this is this is hard on me. I kept it down here because there's leaves on these trees. It's a nice shaded area. Well, for right now, it is freezing. Yesterday, though, I was wearing shorts, and today we got flurries in the air. It's just the way things are this time of year. But I have a number of these bigger rounds or crooked ones. I just got them with the chainsaw. We're going to split them right into the back of my other wheelbarrow, my F-150, and we're going to just stack them right over here. That's going to keep me from running back and forth, you know, when I get a wheelbarrow full of wood. There's a couple maples in here that will go into this wheelbarrow. They'll get separated because I sort by species. I had a gentleman stop in here the other day, and he says, do I mix my hardwoods? And I says, sir, I don't mix a lot. All right. But these big butts, I cannot lie, guys. They make good firewood, but you know, for people who are obsessed with their times, and time is money, which is, don't include me in that, they slow you down. Because how many logs can you work with a processor, you know, by the time you get these chainsawed and run through a log splitter? But you're going to watch this big boy work right now. This is the Eastonmade axis. This is the newer updated version, the GT. I like it. And you guys get to sit back and watch. Here we go. Here is the deal. I've been cutting up these crooked logs, and the one side of the cut's crooked, and that's where you run the risk of kick out. But after it happens to you one time, you can feel when it's going to happen, and it's just easier to run. You can get the log turned in the correct orientation for the knife. But we do have some interesting grains coming up here. And that is how you do it with an Eastonmade Axis log splitter. This thing is awesome. I am here splitting logs, and my high school help is here loading the trailer. I guess it's a busy day here at the wood yard, but you know, young man, if you keep that up, you're in the running for Employee of the Month. And that is how we do it. The Eastonmade Axis, it's looking great. It's running great. There was a lot of improvements made on the Eastonmade Axis GT, and they were impactful. The speed, the power, but I think for me, probably the smallest thing that they did that I feel is the most important was they reworked this area. When the log lift is all the way up, the old style, there was that lip, and the log, when you would slide it down, would catch on it. Not the end of the world, but man, when you're splitting, you know, and minimal effort here, this is a big deal for me. I think if I were to write down all of the things that I like best about the new Eastonmade Axis GT, it's that. Excellent machine, guys. Can't go wrong with it. And there you go, guys. A chilly day here in Northeast Ohio, but this is log splitter weather, huh? Now I just got to get all this stacked right there. All right, everyone, have a great day.